That they were going to attack?
No. For the steal, looking for a simile and time. You have to, when we have a bounce back, the teams must respond within 3 seconds because you've already had the 15 seconds to ponder while the other team was answering. So the simile made at that moment was it looked like a historical picture. So when the general and the black horse gazed over. All right. Literature question for Greenland. In the short story Eveline by James Joyce, how does Evelyn describe the kind of man that her future husband Frank is or will be?
Kind?
Yes, 4 points. Farmington, literature question. In the short story A Little Legend of the Dance by Gottfried Keller, what happened to the young maidens who were brought before Musa and were touched by her hand?
They became nimble and were able to dance well or graceful.
I'll accept that, 4 points. The words used in the story was they became light and graceful of movement. Your synonyms were fine. All right, the fifth question of the match comes from American government. We're back to Prairie Grove. Your question is, what is the legal term for the person who files a lawsuit?
Plaintiff.
Plaintiff is correct. You need to be bold with your voice. 4 points. Greenland. American government question for your team. What is the term for the authority of the court to try and to decide a case? Time has elapsed for the steal, Farmington.
Jurisdiction.
That is correct. 1 point for the steal for Farmington. All right, we're now ready for the red table. Farmington, your one question for American government. David, the lights. Yes, Farmington. All right, your question is, what is the term for the list of cases a given court is given to consider?
Docket.
Docket is correct for 4 points for Farmington. All right, the sixth category is Shakespeare. 4 plays were selected for this year, and here is your question, Prairie Grove. From the play, Richard II. Where does Bolingbroke initially order that Richard is to be held prisoner?
Wales,
No.
Scotland.
No.
Let's see. London,
No.
England,
No. For the steal, Farmington.
the Tower of London.
That is correct. 1 point steal, Farmington. You're doing a good job taking those points. All right, Greenland. Your Shakespeare question comes from the play Troilus and Cressida. This play takes place in what city?
Vienna?
No.
Venice?
No.
Mantua?
No. The time is elapsed for the steal, Farmington.
Troy.
Troy is correct. 1 point steal, Farmington. All right, Farmington, your Shakespeare question comes from the play Antony and Cleopatra. In the play's opening scene, why do the Roman soldiers fault Antony?
He is too proud.
No. Time is elapsed for the steal, Prairie Grove.
He's spending all his time with Cleopatra.
Yes, 1 point steal for Prairie Grove. They don't trust his judgment because he is too fond of Cleopatra. And I'm glad you guys got a steal. All right. The seventh category in the match is vocabulary. They're taken from the ACT preparation textbook. This year, we chose 5 chapters to choose from, so we're not looking at all, thousands of words. We're just looking at a small part of them. It's basically I through M. Prairie Grove. Name the noun that means petty details.
Inscrutable.
No? Time has elapsed for the steel. Farmington.
Minute.
Your pronunciation could be accepted, but it's pronounced differently. I'm going to give you the steel. It is minutia. 1 point steel. Farmington. All right, yellow table, Greenland. Your vocabulary question is, name the noun that means abuse. Time has elapsed. Steele? Time is called. You must be buzz in quickly when there's a steal. The noun that means abuse is invective or invective. Farmington, vocabulary question. Name the verb that means to work against.
Machiavellian.
No.
Inveterate.
No. Time has passed. Steele? Greenland?
Impute.
Say it clearly.
Impute.
No. Prairie Grove, you failed to buzz in on time. No one gets points. The verb that means to work against is militate. All right, at this point of time, it is the team choice. Before the match began, I met with the captains, and sitting at the blue table, Prairie Grove, you chose literature. Sitting at the yellow table, Greenland, you chose American history as your second is your team choice, and Farmington, you chose Shakespeare. So, back to the blue table. Prairie Grove, literature question. In the short story, An Untold Lie by Sherwood Anderson, in Ray's thoughts, what is he referring to when he thinks they are the accidents of life?
Children.
Children is correct for 4 points. I want to remind everyone, especially at the audience, that this question is a little different in their scoring. Each team only gets 1 opportunity to answer, and a steal is worth 2 points instead of 1. Greenland, you chose American history, so you have 1 chance to get the points for this. In 1961, teams of African Americans and whites rode buses to the South to protest continued illegal segregation on interstate bus lines. By what name were these teams known?
The Montgomery Bus March.
No, and now you're done. For the steal, Farmington.
The Freedom Riders.
Freedom Riders is correct for a 2-point steal. For Farmington. All right. And Prairie Grove, you chose, I'm sorry, turn the page. Farmington, you chose Shakespeare. From the play, Cleopatra, Anthony and Cleopatra. How does Cleopatra react to the news that Anthony has married Octavia?
She strikes the messenger.
That is correct. 4 points. All right, the final question of the first half is my choice. A toss-up for everyone. I've chosen the category of geography. I want to remind you that you can buzz in early. You only get one shot, and any team that answers it correctly gets 4 points. Here's your team choice question. I hope you have your buzzers in hand. Reforestation in India is largely being driven by a local tree hugger movement founded by Sundarayal Bahaguna. What is the local name of this movement? Prairie Grove.
Greenleaf.
No. Good guess. I can't see which buzzer went off. David, can you help me? What color? Who just buzzed in? Anyone?
I think that was the timer.
The timer went off. All right, so no points for the toss-up. It was the reforestation tree hugger movement. The local name is CHIPKO, CHIPKO. At this point, we finished the first half. The score is, in third place at the moment is Prairie Grove with 9 points. In second place is Greenland with 11. And with a substantial lead for the first half is Farmington with 26 points. At this time, we're going to take about a 2-minute break for the radio station to regroup, and we'll have the teams switch players if they so choose to start the second half. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello, Cardinal fans. I'm Jared Morrison. I'm joined here by Vice Principal, ACE sponsor, Clayton Williams. Mr. Williams, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
First of all, I want to say congratulations on the high school charter conversion going through. That's exciting news. You want to say a little bit about that first?
It's just a big win for our district. We're grateful for everybody that has been supportive, and we just think it's going to be an awesome thing for our students.
Well, I think we're all excited about that. Lots of exciting things happening here at Farmington High School. Starting this week, Thursday, it's going to be your first ACE match of the year. Tell us a little bit about ACE, just kind of go over a little bit for the folks the first time to watch. Can you go over the rules, kind of how the competition goes and that kind of thing?
Well, ACE is the academic competition in education, and I've been a sponsor of that. I think I was trying to count up. I had to take off my shoes to make sure and count them up correctly, but this is my 15th year, and it's a regional competition, so it's just Northwest Arkansas schools that participate, and it's kind of compared to Quiz Bowl. In some ways it is, except you have it's a little bit more narrowed and focused. It's more about study skills and study habits and work ethic more than just randomly having trivia and things like that. So we have a 10-person team. You can have up to 12 members. But it's just a really neat competition based in social studies, literature, math, sciences. You really have to be a team. That's another thing it's different than Quiz Bowl. Quiz Bowl, you might have 1 or 2 students that just can run the gambit and win for you. But with ACE, you really have to put together a good team of players. And so that's what I really like about that, and that kind of one of the nuances. It's a little bit different from Quiz Bowl. You do have 3 teams that compete at once, which is another difference from Quiz Bowl, and there's 2 halves. So yeah, and it's a cumulative score over 3 matches, and then the top 7 at the end of the 3 matches will play in the semifinals and then the finals.
So it really matters not just that you win, but that you win and you score a certain amount of points. That way, when those points add up at the end,
absolutely,
you can get to those top spots.
It's great to win the match, but if you don't score a certain score, then you find yourself kind of behind the 8 ball.
What score do you want your team to score in each match?
Because ACE, they give you your team specifically a question, you can earn 4 points in that way, and so we have 16 total questions that come directly to our team. So I usually tell our team that's like giving us 64 points right there. They're handing it to us. All we have to do is prove that we know it and take it. So we usually try to shoot for a goal of 60. And if we get less than that, we're a little disappointed, but we shoot for a goal of 60.
So there's 2 rounds.
Yes,
There are two rounds per match. 3 teams in a match. Each round, each half will have a round of questions. Like you might have geometry, or not math would be one round, and then literature, and then history, and so you have a question that's posed to your team. If you get it right, you you get 4 points
Yes.
on the first try. If you get it right on the second try, you get 3 points.
Yes, you get 15 seconds and you have 4 possible shots at it within that time limit. And if you don't get it correct, then one of the other teams has a chance to buzz in and steal for a point.
They get for 1 point.
Yes.
So you could possibly pose more than one answer to a question, but every time you get it wrong, your point value goes down.
Yes.
Okay. And so then you go through, and then at the end of each half, there's a toss-up question.
Yes.
And that's worth how many points?
4 points.
4 points as well. Okay. And then on that point, you only get one chance to answer, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay. So a little bit different.
It
It
is.
is. It's different than this quiz bowl where they, pose a question and you buzz in, Jeopardy
Right.
style.
And that's one of the things that it gives our students a little bit of a different option. With Quiz Bowl, it's usually whoever's fastest on the trigger. This one is more, it's more of a depth. And so students that may not be fast on the draw, but have that, need to be more composed, it's really a good outlet for them to be able to participate in academic competition.
Do you have a list of what subjects are covered?
I do. There's in our first half, it's centered mainly around our social studies and literature. There's geography, U.S. history, government, Shakespeare, vocab, and literature. And the second half, it's chemistry, art history, biology, physics, and world history. And sports.
In sports.
There's a sports
Yeah,
category.
there's sports and there's current events.
And math.
Yeah, and math. So could you kind of go through your team, who's on the team this year, and kind of what areas they're going to be specializing in?
Well, on side one, we have Chloe Lockridge. She's our geography expert. Eli Wallace is U.S. history. Sarah Dunnigan is government. Savannah Cookson is Shakespeare. And Kayla DeMay is our vocab. And then we spread the current events and the literature throughout all of the team practices those. And on side two, our captain this year is Brandon Conrad, and he is will be doing chemistry. Jamie Spillers will be doing art history. Jeffrey Cutter will be doing biology. Evan Wolfenbarger will be doing physics, and Rachel Cook will be doing world history. And then once again, sports and math is covered throughout that side of the team as well.
And so we'll go through these. How many rounds will you play? How many matches will you play until you get to the finals?
We'll play 3 matches. It's a little bit different.
The Dodgers,
No.
the Red Sox,
No.
the Naturals,
No.
White Sox,
So for the steal, Prairie Grove.
Miami Marlins.
That is correct, the Marlins. 1 point steal for Prairie Grove.
Get this next one too.
And the Naturals, really, $325 million? That's a big budget. All right. At the red table, your sports question. Florida State University is the only undefeated team left in the Power 5 conference. Yet, they are ranked 3rd in the nation behind Alabama and Oregon, who've already received a loss. What conference are the Florida State Seminoles in?
The ACC.
Would you be more specific? I'm sorry, no.
Atlantic Coastal Conference.
Yes, 3 points. All right, thank you. So we're in the 11th question of the match. The category is chemistry. Prairie Grove. Your question is, what is biochemistry?
The field of biology and chemistry?
No.
The chemistry that occurs within living things.
Yes, 3 points. For the second answer. Greenland, your chemistry question. What is an organic compound that contains a carbonyl group to which at least one hydrogen atom is attached?
The hydrocarbon?
I'm not sure your mic is on, and no. Your time is up for the steal, Farmington.
Carbide.
Your mic's not on.
Carbide.
No, that is incorrect. For the steal, Prairie Grove.
Carboxyl?
No, the answer is aldehyde. No answer for any team for that chemistry question. And it's now Farmington's question. we want these mics to work so that the radio audience can hear the answers. Would we do a quick, hold the mic, put it close to your mouth, and speak with a definitive voice?
Hi.
1.
Hi.
2. Greenland. Didn't hear it.
Hi.
Yes, but you need it's on weak volume, so speak loudly into that mic. Go ahead.
Hello.
That's good.
Hello.
Farmington, yes.
Hello.
Thank you. All right, red table, chemistry. This is an organic compound obtained by substituting a hydroxyl group, which is OH, for a hydrogen on the hydrocarbon. Name this compound.
Carboxyl.
No.
Hydrocarbon.
No. Prairie Grove.
Alcohol?
Alcohol is correct for the steel. So this is an organic compound obtained by substituting hydroxyl group. The 12th question of the match is art history. For the listeners at home, the art history textbook is about 500 pages long. About 4 or 5 chapters were chosen for this year's match. Here is Prairie Grove's question. Who is the painter who came to New York from Germany and Paris to become one of America's most influential art teachers? His painting, Flowering Swamp, is one of the abstract suggestives of water and flowers. Suggestive of water and flowers.
Manet?
No.
Rockwell?
No.
Munch?
No.
Hopper?
No. Any team for the steel? Greenland?
Perry.
No. Can you come in, Farmington?
Georgia O'Keeffe.
No. The painter is Hans Hofmann. Yellow table. Your art history question. Who is the abstract expressionist whose work Elegy to the Spanish Republic began in 1949, reflected the horror and destruction of the Spanish Civil War?
Picasso.
No.
Michelangelo.
No.
Rodriguez.
No. 15 seconds has passed for the steel, Prairie Grove.
Dolly?
No. And Farmington, you're not buzzing in on time. The abstract expressionist is Robert Motherwell. Art history is a hard category. Farmington, let's see if you can squeeze some points out. Who is the female artist who is one of the major contributors to color field painting, particularly to England field painting? Mountain and the Sea is the most famous work of this artist and is an important work because with this painting the artist began to the use of the technique of stain painting.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
No. Time has passed for the steel, Prairie Grove.
Smith?
No. Greenland.
Mary.
No. So this painter is Helen Frankenthaler. Because art history is so difficult, the question writer put in lots and lots of clues. They tried to give you the country. So if you'll try to pick up on all those, all year long, lots of clues are given in the art history column. All right. For the audience at home, the 13th question of the match is math. And there's going to be a considerable amount of pause because each team has a math question and they have a whole 60 seconds to tabulate the answer. So as I read the question, each team will be sitting quietly trying to find the answer. For the beginning of the year, the first match you'll play, everyone has an Algebra 1 question. As the year advances, we go to Geometry, Algebra 2, and Trigonometry. But this one is Algebra 1. I'm going to ask you to open up all tables, the blue envelope. Each of you will have a strip of paper so you can have a copy of the question in front of you. Here's the question. And it's complicated to read out loud. So for the quantity of -7 plus 5 times the quantity 3 plus 2 squared, close bracket, subtract, open bracket, 10 minus 4 times quantity 3 minus 1, close bracket.
$470.
The answer is 474 points for Prairie Grove. Yes, Prairie Grove. Yellow table, Greenland. Everyone open up your yellow envelope. Pass out the small strips of paper. And here's the question. 6 times, open parentheses, 4 times quantity 9 minus 4 squared minus 10, close bracket, subtract, open bracket, 6 times the quantity 3 minus 2 minus 4, close bracket.
$538.
That is correct for 4 points for Greenland. Farmington, your math question of equal value goes like this. Oh, open up your envelope, pass out the strips. And I'm waiting for one team. All right, start timer. Your math problem is 4 times, open parentheses, 3 times the quantity 7 minus 3 squared plus 4, close bracket, minus, open bracket, 3 times the quantity 4 minus 1, subtract 12, close bracket.
$211.
211 is correct, 4 points. I think you guys got the handle on that. Good job for that category. The 14th question of the match is a biology question, Prairie Grove. What is the total of all the Earth's ecosystems called?
Biosphere.
Biosphere is correct for 4 points. Yellow table, biology question. What is the largest and least explored ecosystem?
The deep sea.
I'm sorry?
The deep sea.
Deep sea. Yes, we'll accept that. A more common answer would be the ocean. 4 points for Greenland. And Farmington, your biology question. The breakdown of organic materials to inorganic ones is known as what?
Decomposition.
That is correct for 4 points. Good category for everyone. Physics question. Blue table, Prairie Grove. Give the symbol and the unit for the length of a conductor in field.
Displacement inches.
No. Time is lapsed. Can there be a steal? Greenland?
Ohms.
No. Farmington?
Resistance in ohms.
No. Listen to the question carefully because the next ones are very similar. Greenland, there were no points for that question. We're now ready for the Greenland question. The correct answer for the first one, and I'm going to repeat the question. Give the symbol and the unit for the length of conductor in a field. The symbol is I. Or is it L? It's L. and the unit is meter. Does that make sense to you all now that you hear the answer with the question? Greenland. Give the symbol and the unit of the magnetic field.
Magnetic force.
No. For the steel, Farmington?
M in Tesla.
No. Prairie Grove?
M and magnetons.
No. Farmington, you were close, but you had to get both. The symbol is B, and the unit is Tesla, so you had the unit correct. Farmington, this is your question. Give the symbol and the unit for a magnetic force.
C and joules.
No. For the steel, Prairie Grove?
M in Tesla?
No. Greenland, for the steel?
N in Tesla?
No. So it's F, capital F, with little subtitle magnetic. And then the unit is Newton. All right. We are now ready for the 16th question of the match. There's a total of 18 questions, so we are near the end. This is world history. Prairie Grove. Your question is, what was the name of the first French Parliament, which was created in 1302?
House of Commons.
No.
House of Lords.
No.
Tableau des Commons.
No.
The inaugural French Parliament.
Clever? No. For the steel, Farmington.
The Estates General.
Yes. That was well done. Steel for Farmington. Yellow table, Greenland. World history question. Identify the English king who created the Church of England because the Pope would not grant him the annulment from his queen.
King Richard III?
No.
King Richard II?
No.
King Richard IV?
No.
King John I?
No. And for the steel, Farmington?
King Henry VIII.
That is correct. For Farmington, a 1-point steal. All right, Farmington, your world history question. What was the name of the French Protestants who were influenced by John Calvin?
Huguenots.
That is correct for 4 points. That was a very strong round or category for Farmington. All right, we're going to pause just for a moment and give the score. And the reason is there's more points. The point shift for the last 2 questions can really make a difference. So we're going to identify that Prairie Grove had a very good second half. They have now 26. Greenland, you have 19, and Farmington has 43. For the team choice, Prairie Grove for the second half chose biology, Greenland chose world history, and Farmington chose math. I want to remind you that for the for the team choice, you get 1 shot to get the answer, and it's worth 4 points. Then you're done, and the steal is worth 2. All right, so we're starting with the blue table, and your category was biology. Prairie Grove, your question is, what is the field of science that analyzes animal motion 1 moment at a time?
Physiognomy?
No. For the steel, Farmington?
Locomotive.
No. For the steel, Greenland? Are you going to buzz in? Go ahead.
Locomonomy.
No, the answer is biomechanics. Greenland, sitting at the yellow table. Your team choice was world history. What city was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire?
Constantinople.
That is correct for 4 points for Greenland. Farmington, you chose math. So everyone open up the white envelope, distribute the little strips. Radio audience, realize there's going to be a time of silence as they do the figuring. All right, start the timer of 1 minute. Solve this Algebra 1 question. 3x squared minus 5x equals 12. What's that mean?
Negative 4/3.
We have to have a buzz in. Oh, all right, so we didn't clear it from the last one? So who was the person who was speaking? Okay, go ahead.
Right, so negative 4/3 and positive 3.
I'm sorry, I want you to say it again. I didn't hear the last part.
3. Positive 3.
That is correct. Huh? That's not what you, all right, so I might have an error here. Before we have a steal, and I see Prairie Grove's in the waiting, I need you to repeat your answer one more time. I just didn't hear it correctly, or precisely.
All right, x equals negative 4/3 and x equals 3.
All right, no. Prairie Grove for the steal. Time has passed. You had a full minute. All right, time has passed. You had to buzz in quickly. Oh, I guess, all right, you do have time to buzz in. Answer immediately.
X equals the square root of 7.2.
No. All right, everyone, here's the answer. X equals 4/3 and x equals 3. You said negative. All right. No points for the toss-up. The team choice from Farmington. We're now ready for the toss-up question, and it's coming from the category of physics. Everyone has a chance to get this. You do not have to wait for me to finish the question. It's worth 4 points for any team who gets it correct. Here's your physics toss-up question. A nucleus can be characterized by mass number and atomic number and what? Prairie Grove.
The atomic charge.
No. Greenland.
The atomic mass.
No. It's not what I have. Farmington.
The mass unit.
No, what I have here, and I'll read the question so it makes sense. A nucleus can be characterized by mass number and atomic number and neutron number was the answer I have here. So no points for the toss-up. We're at the end of game 1 for the whole season. The final score of match 1 in third place in today's competition is Greenland with 23 points. In second place is Prairie Grove with 26, and with a substantial, strong win, Farmington has 43 points. For the audience's knowledge, each team will play 3 preliminary games during the season. Their scores will be averaged to determine who makes it to the championship tournament. At this time, we want to thank the radio audience and the audience here in Siloam Springs High School. We're going to take about a half-hour break and switch up, and we're going to have game two between, where's my piece of paper that has that? Siloam Springs, Bentonville, and Lifeway Christian. And so the second game of the season will begin in about 30 minutes, and we welcome you back. The first game is over. Thank you. At this time, we'll take any challenges.